The story of the doll kitty. The story happened in Hong Kong. The doll kitty is an American-made doll from the 1980s, and the story says that there was a young man named Shan, who is a very dangerous criminal and a road cut. And the girl was unfortunate that she fell in the way of the criminal Shan. The ugly Van was working in a nightclub, and the criminal Shan was going every day to the nightclub. Cat Fan works as a night girl in the nightclub, and she loved her doll kitty since a young age. And one day, Sean went to the nightclub, and he had a lot of money with him. She saw that many money, and I thought of the idea of stealing that money. Sean took the girl Van with him to his home, and there was the thief's house containing the doll kitty as well. She forgot that she was dealing with a criminal who was not an ordinary person, and she stole him in his house, and this is a very difficult thing. Sean knew that the girl was the thief, and he threatened her to return the money. She returned the money to him in fear of him. But unfortunately, he did not only accept the money, but also asked her for a very large compensation for what she did and stole it. The criminal asked her to pay £20 as compensation for the theft. Van began to think nervously about a solution to get out of that big trouble, but the man wanted revenge. Sean kidnapped Van and decided to use her in prostitution until he got a lot of money from her. But he changed his mind and decided to torture her and not exploit her to win money. Sean took her to his house with his friends, and the apartment was full of different drawings and pictures and many belonging to the doll kitty. They all raped her cruelly, one by one, brutally, and urified in her mouth, and defecated and tortured her with great cruelty, and was helped by a young girl who was a friend of Sean and was only 14 years old. All this torture was happening in front of the eyes of the doll kitty. And after a month of torture and suffering, she died as she was suffering in front of the eyes of the doll kitty. No one knew about Van's death and no one cared, but the killers were looking for a way to get rid of the body. The criminals cut the body into very small pieces and put it in hot water so that the body would not smell out. And then they put it in a box and throw it in the trash can. And before cutting the body and throwing it, they took parts of the body and put it inside the doll kitty as a souvenir. They were really psychopaths and dysfunctional. The body was disposed of and the apartment was permanently closed. And then the little girl who was involved in the torture of Van was taken. She was watching a lot of nightmares, and the heroine of the nightmare was Van and the doll. Van came to her in the dreams and asked her to go to the police headquarters and to admit everything. The girl did not believe in those dreams and thought that they were just illusions of what happened. After that, the girl began to feel that the doll kitty looks at her very strange looks, watching her, and sometimes she finds her moving from her place in a strange way. She made her feel very nervous and fear. The girl then went to the police with horror and confessed everything. The evil did not believe the girl's words and considered her crazy, but they went with her and searched the house and tearing of the doll kitty, and there they found the girl's head in the place of the doll's head. And this was the most ugly thing that could happen, and the shock to the Fan family, who were waiting for their daughter's Oyu. The youth and Shan were charged with them with Van's murder and torture, but unfortunately they had an accomplished lawyer who was able to prove that Van had committed suicide and took the sleep discs. The court did not hold the killers accountable for killing Van, but they punished them for torture and rape, and the punishment was imprisonment. And the young girl came out with a small sentence and was not punished. The case was completely closed. After this incident, people's perception of Kitty's doll changed significantly, and it became arousing horror and panic in the souls. And many rumors and sayings came out, and it was said that the doll was haunted, in fear of people, and they were terrified after Van's murder.